The 80-20 rule, key to success for the small entrepreneur. This is session 7, the last of our sessions on this rule, or the Pareto principle, and it contains conclusions in which we believe. Here's one interesting application of the 80-20 rule. Of the entrepreneurs that succeed and go on to run and operate their businesses, 20% of the small entrepreneurs make 80% of the money. We've been speaking about small entrepreneurs, indeed, throughout our discussions of the 80-20 rule. But how do we define that? Let's look at that first. What exactly is a small entrepreneur? Because that answer depends upon whom you ask. If you look at government statistics, if you listen to commentators on television network news broadcasts, if you listen to the spoutings of political pundits or elected representatives, you'll get their picture of what they believe small business is in America. When I hear them reading between the lines, I think they believe the average small business seems to have 10 million in sales and 50 employees. And if you're hearing my words and have achieved those levels, congratulations. But I believe most small entrepreneurs fit within different parameters. In fact, I believe that most small businesses consist of and will continue to consist of solo entrepreneurs or micro entrepreneurs. What's a micropreneur? Well, a micropreneur is an entrepreneur who risks starting a specific type of business, one that will remain small enough to allow him or her to do the work they want while still offering a balanced lifestyle. And this type of entrepreneur doesn't really have an interest in growing a business beyond a size which is manageable, not only by the founder, but also within a reasonable work schedule. In fact, a micropreneur may operate their business part-time. It could be a parent who is a child's primary caregiver and wants a business that will fit within the child's school schedule. Or could be a college student that instead of a minimum wage part-time job decides to start a small business instead. What about a solopreneur? Well, on its face, it's obvious that this is an entrepreneur who has no interest in adding staff to his or her business. Essentially, it's a business staffed by one, its founder. Like the micropreneur, this business founder typically is interested in a balanced lifestyle, living a passion, doing what they do, and doing what they do because it's something they love to do. Startup costs are typically minimal or minimized, and often the brand of the business is merely an extension of the one who nurtured it along. Because of this intimate connection, it can be difficult sometimes to exit these businesses, but while it's possible, and it even can be lucrative, most solopreneurs aren't really looking to build the business just to sell it anyway. Unlike the micropreneur, however, the solo is more welcoming of growth and may not be as adverse to looking at some trade-offs in quality of life in order to promote their business. And while both solopreneurs and micropreneurs are forms of entrepreneurship, solos and micros view aspects of their work and life differently from the entrepreneur who from the get-go takes on lots of financing and lots of staff to build an empire. Now, this is not to say that solos and micros aren't interested in growth, profits, or revenues. To the contrary, these versions of entrepreneurs want a profitable, even lucrative business. Indeed, they want to succeed wildly. And I believe that solo and micro entrepreneurship is destined to be the future of much of middle-class America. Outside of perhaps some select occupations, such as maybe healthcare and engineering and a few others, the old middle-class jobs are fast disappearing. And to achieve the middle-class lifestyle and hope to climb the ladder further into indeed upper middle class and upper class and so forth, to be the millionaire next door, if you will, Americans are more and more needing to turn to running their own ship. So what does success look like for the solo entrepreneur or micro entrepreneur? What is succeeding wildly? Again, if the micro entrepreneur is part-time, perhaps a stay-at-home spouse caring for a family, or a retiree seeking extra income, the numbers might look different. But for the solo entrepreneur or the micro entrepreneur seeking success, most define it when the net before taxes cracks 6 figures. At that point, in most places within the US, you can pay your bills, enjoy life, and stick a little away for retirement. Does that mean the small entrepreneur loses the desire for more? No, many want more. In fact, many dream of the day when they can fit the mainstream definition. Maybe they'll pull in the 10 million in revenues and supervise a staff of dozens of hardworking employees. But the reality is that 20% of our solo entrepreneurs or micro entrepreneurs will achieve the 6-figure dream. About 20% of the small businesses will earn 80% of that money. And what of the rest? Sadly, a lot of them will fail within the first few years. The remaining companies may limp along with the creators searching for ways to improve the business and join that track for success. Because almost all small businesses consist of one person, the founder, efficiency is an absolute necessity for success. And while it's hard to know if Vilfredo Pareto ever thought much of the solo entrepreneur, his adaptable principles can teach us much about how to be efficient, how to leverage our time, talents, and treasures. Because at the Solopreneur Mastermind Group, we want you to be in the 20% that not only achieve, but achieve the 6-figure dream. So what do we do this? We look at some of these principles here, and the first one we spoke of is to understand first from whence your revenues come. Know your clients. Understand those which you should keep and seek, and maybe those who you should lose and avoid. You need to keep a wary eye on your expenses. You need to understand how you arrive at the number on each line you enter into your profit and loss statement. You need to make sure you don't drown in information. Find comfort in the fact that you don't need to know everything. And what is required for you to be a success is to be ruthlessly discriminating in what you allow into your overcrowded entrepreneurial brain. You should know what tasks you do well and know those you do not. Concentrate on your strengths. Don't try to fix your weaknesses. Create workarounds for those things you can't or won't do. And know that a balanced life is a successful one. Acknowledge that small steps in your personal life or your business life can reap generous rewards. Moreover, give yourself a better shot at success lasting a long time if you take the time to service your personal side. Well, we hope you enjoyed this program on the 80-20 rule. We'd like to hear from you. Tell us what you liked and what you didn't like about this course, and what we did well and what we could do better. And most importantly, tell us what else you'd like to see on this, the Solopreneur Mastermind Group, because this is your site. To your wild success, catch you in the next program.